It's red left switch, Z right, sprint right G, U corner, halfback flat. Nice and easy, let's walk it, here we go.
In order to simulate an actual playoff week in the National Football League, we got our asses up out of bed here for a 5:30 a.m. film breakdown. We're going to take you behind the curtain. Two former NFL offensive linemen, 16 years in the trenches, Jeremiah Sirles, Alex Boone the Rhino, and the Detroit Lions are the number one seed for the first time in franchise history. We're going to pull back the curtain and break some stuff down, boys.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what.
Listen to you, just gargling.
I'm ready. You know what? I'm ready.
Coach,
Coach, that's an under. That's an under, Coach. Drop safety. I just want to say, congrats, man. First time ever. Like, we're watching this game, and you're like, these guys mean to do this. They mean to do this. They know what they're doing. They have bad intentions today. Jahmyr Gibbs, I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it again today at 5:30 in the morning. I think he's the MVP. I think when he gets the ball, amazing things happen, and I think he lifts this team and elevates this team to a place that's let's be honest. They don't have David Montgomery right now, and their number one thing is to run the ball. Run the ball, and they just dominated a dominating team. That's why I'm like, man, this kid really does deserve the MVP. He really makes this team what they are. They're so fun to watch.
And all of you made fun of the Lions for drafting a running back in the first round, top 10 pick,
Didn't somebody want to trade him a month ago? Somebody was like, get rid of him. We don't even need him. I was like, okay, that's why they fired you as the GM. I'm almost positive that's why they got you fired. But anyways, so excited for them. And the speech that Dan gave afterwards, he just opens his mouth, and I'm like, I love you. I would do anything for you. I would hurt anyone you wanted me to hurt.
We've been building this for 4 years.
Nobody believed in us. Nobody. And I was like, I know, I did. I was there for you. Like, it's just the way that this team has responded to his coaching. And he's right. To come out as a gritty, tough team for 4 years is so hard. You have to kick people's asses every single day. Because if you don't, you basically have gone out there and shown, we can't do this anymore. They have done this for 4 years in a row. Dude, there's a picture of Anzalone standing there like the first day of practice. I'm like, this guy has been there since jump. Yeah. And that's what's so fun about this for me. It's because these are the dudes that are putting in so much work. Like everybody else, yeah, sure, they're working. Houston, no, they're not. Vikings, The Lions are working. They're working every day. They're fighting each other every day to get bigger, stronger, better. And I'm here for it, man. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope they can sustain it. You know, as a football-loving fan, you hope that wasn't the mountaintop moment for them, right? Like where they geared themselves up with backups and put together a great game plan on defense one more time. It was like, we could do it. And then it's like, okay, we did it. And then they kind of have this emotional letdown. The bye is going to obviously help a lot with that. I also worry about that for the Vikings, right? Like this big emotional game of, hey, we could clinch, the playoffs could run through Minnesota, the Super Bowl, the path to the Super Bowl goes through U.S. Bank Stadium, and now it's like, and we're going to L.A., right? Like the emotional swing of that up and down is a lot, right? Yeah. On both sides of it. And, you know, it'd be interesting, but man, hats off to the Lions. What a great season. What a way to cap it off. You know, unbelievable job, unbelievable game plan by Eric Glenn, and I mean, they rattled Sam Darnold like I haven't seen him rattled all year.
Let's actually start on – we'll break down some film here. Let's start with a handful of defensive plays because that was the big story for the last month. All the injuries. You got basically a full roster of defensive players on injured reserve. And how is Aaron Glenn, who, by the way, by the end of that game, the cameras caught him in the fourth quarter just chilling on the bench with his elbow up on the bench.
Hey. I love that he's looking away,
instantly gets like 3 job interviews this week for head coach.
First, guaranteed he's going to be a head coaching candidate now, especially because I think, and you can roll it, Mackey, I think a lot of it was the fact that they sent so much pressure that the Vikings were like, there's no way they're going to go man coverage versus us, right? And then all of a sudden, like, and even a play like this, right? I remember watching this, and he talked about how this was, Anzalone's locked on the running back, and we call this a green dog. Even something like this. Like, this is like, what is going on that we are holding this ball for this long? I mean, dude. Oh, that hurt.
Yeah. That hurt. A green dog here is so Anzalone has the tight end man here. Jack Campbell.
Not Anzalone, my bad. Jack Campbell.
Yeah, Jack.
Okay, so the
Campbell
Anzalone's
has-
on the right. You're talking over here.
Yep.
Campbell's
The
man-to-man
two
on the
white-
back.
The two white hopes in the middle.
Yeah.
Right. So then you've got Jack Campbell there in the middle. So he comes over here.
But
he sees
wait, go back real quick. He knows it's man coverage, by the way. Sam knows it's man. Okay.
Yeah, it's no secret it's man, right? And then Cam Akers comes over here. As soon as Jack Campbell sees Cam Akers block, he then converts this from man coverage to blitz.
And Jack
So
gets
he
lucky.
comes- yeah, I mean, if Sam right here, if he sees this, I mean, Cam Akers leaks out all by himself,
Right.
right? Because Jack green dogs. But this is just, again, when you blitz and you get to a quarterback, that internal cock speeds up. He's got nowhere to go. But also go back to the wide, Mac. Like,
Who's open? I want to see
you're
it.
talking about, like, I text a couple people that are at the game because the TV topic doesn't always tell, like, is he missing people or are there people just not open? Like, there's nobody open.
No, you ain't
Yeah.
open.
Bracket
Right.
over here.
You've got bracket over here, bracket there, right?
Blanket
that guy's
coverage
running
here.
step for step with there. Like Josh Oliver is your option if you can't get it to Akers late. And
Dude, if you get it to
hit
Akers right now, by the way,
piece.
this might be a house call. Everyone's man covered. And the closest guy to you has his back turned and is
But
running
even then,
away
like,
from you.
By the time Akers turns around, he's already getting hit. Like,
And that's the
a
problem is you need to
that's a
speed this
really
up.
Heady football play by Jack Campbell of pulling the trigger, trusting your instincts, and this is why they drafted him out of college so high. His instincts are great, right? Like, hey, I have to make a decision here. Do I run out to the flat with Cam Akers, or do I just put my foot in the ground and go get him? Right here, he goes decision. Right.
Hey,
Like,
and
you
honestly,
see it.
hey, what makes his decision go back like 3-4 steps, Matt? Go back real quick. The minute that Cam Akers touches this defensive end, because Campbell right now is like, oh, he's leaking out. But the minute he goes to block, Jack goes, screw it, I'm in this. I'm gone. Right? Like he's like, I'm going. Right now, Sam needs to look to his right and just dump it right to Akers. Because the only guy not covered is Akers and everyone else is in man coverage. Dude, there's nothing to do with this ball. Turn and dump it off right now instead of eating that. Those are the hits that add up. I've been there when dudes get hit like that. You're like, okay, man, that's
And
on
there's
you.
more. There's more on the way because he
There's
took
a lot
beating in this game.
Oh,
I mean, look at this.
I know.
But hold on, before we go again, we need to talk about this more. Like before we go to the end zone copy and look what happened, the receivers. I went back and watched the tape again last night. They did not get open.
Yeah, look, no one's open.
Nobody is open, right? You see a white jersey, and all you see is a black jersey just humping their leg, right? They're just right there. They're just attached.
But not only
right?
that, but look, we're running around, we're moving, things are getting chaotic. We're in the
And
biggest game
red
of the
zone,
year.
if your red zone, if your first read's not there, there's no progression in the red zone.
No.
Right? There's no 1 to 2 to 3 in the red zone. It's if the first read's not there, immediately go into scramble mode and see what we can do. And again, they went man coverage, and they were like, Vikings, we are not scared of your receivers. We are not scared of
Look at that.
Jefferson.
Everybody's covered.
Everyone's covered. And then, boom, dude, that hit.
Well,
right
that's
there,
the
that
problem is
hit,
you take a hit
when
like
you're
this on a
in the
throw.
air, when you're in the air, and again, it's good protection. It's good protection. I mean, he gets a little leaky late, but I mean, just getting bench pressed into the turf.
And the worst is when they take the hits on the throwaways because you're like,
it doesn't feel good.
throw it away sooner.
Yeah.
God, you're looking at him like, dude.
Because you'll see later when we get to the Lions offense, there's a play where Jared Goff takes maybe one of the biggest hits of the game.
Oh.
but it's a key third down or
Saw
it's
it
a fourth
coming,
down,
too.
It's a 4th and 4.
Yeah.
And
So here-
okay, I'll take this hit, but I'll get 12 yards on a 4th and 4.
Here's the first cover zero.
This
This should have been a touchdown.
I know it should have
Right.
been.
This 100% should have been a touchdown.
He got him
One-on-one
here.
Coverage, fade route to your best all world, all everything.
Keith Robertson's
receiver.
like, shit.
But the Lions have already kind of planted seeds of pain and doubt by this point too. Does that
absolutely.
factor in?
Like, look
He's
at
a-
these
he's
guys.
a- he's
Look,
back
Anzalone,
foot, little
they're Campbell. They're like, oh god, right. But right here, I mean, this is as much. They're sending.
They bring 7. Nothing you can
all
do.
You can do is, all you can do is pick up 6, right? So there's nothing that you have to beat the blitz with the ball. You always leave the furthest blitzer away free, right? So it's coming across the ball. Aaron Jones picks up Campbell. He's going to be free, and you've got to make this throw.
Kind of gets hit on the way
to
out.
Make this throw.
Go back real quick. Looks like his hand gets hit just as you see that. So you can't really get the follow through. I'm telling you, man, they brought the house. They brought the house more than once, and I was like, man, they don't care. And that's when you stop and you think about this Lions team. That's who they are. They
How
don't care.
repeatable because their defense got carved for a month.
It's not.
Oh yeah.
How
It's
repeatable is this in the playoffs for the Lions?
And that's part of my biggest gripe with this game is that should have been right there. That was like one of the first cover zeros. The second you come to the sideline, you go, okay, here's our cover zero check. And you should have that completely knocked in the face, right? Like that should be an in-game adjustment, not a problem. Cover zero. We're going to get to our 80s protections. We're going to bring the tight end in. We have the back end. We can block 7, and then someone's going to win one-on-one on the outside.
But not only that, but like when you do the, you can get the R, the L. You make things easier. Like even right here, and I love how Collins was like,
well, they
Tackles
brought a defensive end in to play defensive tackle.
like it's the first time it's ever happened ever. I was like, oh my god, no way,
Collinsworth, mind blowing.
no way. Are you
crazy.
serious, Chris? That's insane. Hey, honestly, go back real quick. The problem here is that Brendel just leans a little bit and gets a little too outside. He oversets a little bit.
This has been a problem all year.
I know.
The back half of the year, I think Blake's had a great job this year for being a first-year starter, but he started to get a little leaky here as of late.
Right as they make contact.
This has been part of the issues. I think they've started realizing if we can single up our left guard with a good pass rusher, he's struggled in space. See how when he's punching, his right foot's off the ground? You can't have your right foot off the ground when you're punching. You've got to have 2 feet in the ground. The second you have a foot off the ground and he comes underneath, you have that soft shoulder inside.
See how it opens. See how it opens, yeah. And see how his helmet's outside his.
He's going to start pushing on that, and you have no recourse but to drop and open, right? And now you're right in Sam's face. There's another hit on his ass.
Ugh.
This was a.
And if you go look,
this was third down, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because I remember thinking like,
Aaron Jones is the read here, right? This is another one that's open. If you go look, Aaron Jones cooks Anzalone.
Here, let's go back to the
wide. Like this is again man coverage. He's one-on-one with Anzalone. This is a great route by Aaron Jones. He comes underneath, gives him some sauce, boop, boop, and that's the touchdown throw.
Yeah.
Right, because he's jumping. Man. He's jumping. The safety's jumping Naylor, right? And gosh damn it. But again, Lions. Just
I take my cap to, instead of, because Sam Darnold came in. And for Lions fans that didn't know this, Sam Darnold had the best passer rating against the blitz of any quarterback in the NFL. Against pressure, he's a little leakier, but against the blitz, because not all blitzes are pressures if the offensive line picks it up.
Correct.
He had a 130.5 passer rating against the blitz.
Yeah.
And the Lions said, we don't care. We're going to blitz.
It's kind of why
we're not going to sit back and let this happen to us for 3 hours.
That's kind of why I thought that the Vikings were like, there's no way they're going to do this to us. There's no way.
Yeah.
This guy's the hottest when.
This pissed me off. This is the sack, right?
Yeah, it's one of the 2 sacks.
Down.
He only got sacked twice, actually.
This is a big one, though, too.
This is an unacceptable sack, though. First of all, I mean, it's hard for me to give a lot of shit to Brian O'Neill because he's been unbelievable all year.
Unreal.
Right? I mean, this is the NFL football. This is the National Football League. That is Zadarius Smith. He has.
Yeah, I'm not giving Brian any shit on this.
Like, it happens.
He's also Zadarius was hunting for 2 sacks for like a $500,000 incentive in this game.
But like this is more on Dalton Reisner than it is on Brian O'Neill for me, right? So when you talk about they're running a TE game, right? So TE is tackle first and loop around. Brian is soft setting this because of the protection call of Hawkinson's going to chip on his way out. But if you see here, for whatever reason, Dalton Reisner steps inside foot. And I don't understand that. Like, if you've got a 3 technique like this, and you step inside foot, you're inviting him to have outside leverage right here.
Talking about this right here, this little first move.
Play action, but like you have to get back out and cover this guy up because now you've completely creased your tackle. And Brian's trying here, but when you don't punch the penetrator and deliver him to Brian, Brian's doing everything he can here, right? But now he's late. Lucky he doesn't get a holding, and then this is just a bad sack.
Yeah, throw it.
And Darnold evacuating through the back of the pocket a few times in this game.
He reverted back to some old scary habits, which I don't love.
Let's do one more defensive clip here, and then we'll get to some of the. Because I mean, it was a crazy impressive defensive performance.
Here it comes. Here comes the pressure. Wow.
Swarming.
Right, so
look at how many 6 black jerseys meeting at the quarterback here.
Yeah.
Dalton Reisner,
Look at
hands
that.
on the hip.
I think Anzalone jumped on late too. Go figure.
Hey, he hasn't played in 2 months. He's frisky.
Sounds like
All
a
right, so
Mike.
you got the overload front, right? We talked about the overload, 3 to one side, right? 3 D linemen over here to his side. You've got the 2 linebackers, Campbell and Anzalone, and they just run a stunt, right?
And then you got defensive back here down.
Yeah,
He's in theory
man
covering
coverage.
Powell, but yeah.
Yeah, he's in man coverage, right? But again, it's a man coverage indicator, right? Here they come, boom, boom, boom. I can't tell, but I think Bradbury ME's on this. Go back, Booney. Tell me if I'm wrong here.
I think it's
It
Brendel.
looks- Someone ME's, right?
I think Brendel's supposed to stay down with this.
I
Watch.
think Brendel's supposed to stay down because if you see a Garrett here kind of starts trying to take 2, right? So here,
we should all
like,
stay. We're good.
everyone
Oh, so
should
you're saying
stay.
Brandel should stay
Yeah,
out
watch, he's
here
gonna
and
come
pick
off
up
right
his
here.
looper?
No, that's CJ Ham's guy.
Yeah.
The looper
Okay.
is CJ Ham's guy. So see, when Brendel comes off late, they just cut the nose free.
But I think they
See,
thought
the
it was going
nose
to
is
be a
on the ground.
twist.
See how
Yeah.
the nose is on the ground right there? So this is our 4-man slide call. So pause it right there. So there's a couple different ways you can pick this overload front up, right? When we have it, there's one way is you go, hey, right side, you're dead, right? You're 3 for 3 on that side. Left guard, you sort out the most dangerous man over the top of you, right? Which would here would be Jack Campbell.
He comes first, so he's the most
Right?
dangerous.
Or you say, hey, there's a 4-man slide. Brendel, you're coming with me. We're cutting the defense. CJ Ham, you have Jack Campbell. We have everything to the right here. But what happens is I think that's the call. But when Jack Campbell crosses your face, you take him. It's the pizza theory, right?
Right.
I take
Okay.
your piece, you take my piece, right? Pizza. And so right here, when he comes across, Brendel, for whatever reason, feels like, oh my gosh, we have to 3-way bump this when they really don't. He just stays down here and secures this, stay right there, and then CJ Ham's right where he's supposed to be, right? But because that nose is now free and now Jack Campbell's free, bad news bears. And Garrett Bradbury can't be on the ground.
Which,
Again,
yeah, frequent
This,
occurrence.
I haven't seen this pass rush this lethal in a month. Like,
In a
I
minute,
haven't
boys.
Well, the
seen-
fact that Aiden Hutchinson still leads the Lions in sacks, you know, it's
Yes.
but
Back to the Super Bowl.
so let's run 2 or 3 of the
Oh,
key
okay, now
offensive
this is
plays
fun.
here.
Now
This
I'm
is
not
the
so
4th and
upset.
4
This
from the
is
39-yard
where-
line.
This is where things get really fun, right?
When,
So
whenever the
we-
Lions cross the 50, by the way,
Oh.
they're going for it if it's
Does-
less than 4th and 5. It's
If it's 4th
wild.
and 10, they might go for it, dude. They
Yeah.
don't
Dude, I
care.
love that they like always pan to Dan Campbell, and he's not like zero emotion. Like
This is it. This is the one.
this is it.
He
This
saw it
is-
coming from a mile away. This is a great job knowing where you're hot,
This
right?
is-
He's staring it down the whole time. And
This is
he
one
just
where quarterbacks love pressure in their face, right? Hey, okay, I know where this is coming from. This is a different play.
that's not
No,
the
it's
same.
the one.
It's gonna
Is
move
it?
in a minute. They're-
Oh,
Yeah, they
shit.
fill in late.
I was like, that doesn't look right.
No, they
they're
fill.
gonna
Yeah,
move.
they fill in late here.
Pause.
And by the way, you've got. I think the Vikings have 5, 6 edge rushers here, I mean, depending on how you classify Jihad Ward. You got Dallas Turner, the rookie, in here on the inside too.
Right, so there's 7 up there, right? So not dissimilar. It's a different, obviously, starting point, but there's a 7 up look, right? And what did the Lions do? They checked it to a cover 0 protection,
Right now,
Right.
look at Jameis Williams. He's cutting it in right now. He knows. Got to go.
right? So they said, hey, we're gonna everyone take their 5-0 guys here. Jameer Gibbs, you come off this front. I want the hot in my face, right? Because he's got 2 hot options right here. He could throw it to Amon-Ra St. Brown right away, or he hits it, or if he wants to hold and go for a little bit more of the bigger play, he knows he's going to take the hit and hit Jameson Williams. Like right there, I mean, pick your poison. Which one
And
do
he
you wanna throw
even
it to?
his footwork there is interesting because he knows he
Kinda
knows
drifts away, right?
he gives himself like 2 or 3 extra feet by just
That's
kind of
called-
moving outside
Because
that
he
hash.
knows,
Right?
hey, listen, if I'm hot, it's over here to Martellus. Unless Martellus drops, then I'm not hot. And so he's like, okay, I'm going to drift. Who's open? And I think what he's waiting for is he's like, guys, cut this fucking mesh route. Let's go. Like they're kind of like
Yeah.
moving through it. But a lot of this mesh route is because if they are pressed up on them, one of them's going to get bumped off right away, right? But they don't even end up pressing them. And ends up being some sort of zone. And so all of a sudden it's like, I'm just going to cut this loose.
And what we talked about on the show before this game, where do you beat the blitz against the Vikings? Right behind the linebackers, right in front of the safeties, right? That's the void in this defense. Goff knew it, right? And he just waited for one of his freaking 4-4 receivers to get there.
That was fourth down, wasn't it?
That was 4th and 4. It was a huge pivot play in the game.
Every one of their fourth downs was clutch. Like the biggest.
This was the
play
next play, by the way. The very next play.
Dude, first of all, pause. Why does Jahmyr Gibbs look like Michael Myers standing
I love
in the
it.
background?
I was just gonna say I love how he stands there because it's just it keeps throwing you off. Like what's he
He
doing?
looks
What's he
like
doing?
a serial killer.
Is he getting the ball?
Right?
Is
Why,
it-
why is he not? What is he
There's
doing?
no way he's
No-
gonna get the ball like that.
No
right? There's
knee
no way.
bend, like zero knee bend, like no athletic position. Just
I constantly
knees
keep
locked,
thinking that.
standing.
Yeah. There's no way he's
Looks
getting the ball like
freaking
that.
Michael Myers.
Dee, 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 dee.
Looks
He
like one
starts
of my
walking
eighth
with the
graders.
football.
Watch how fast he goes.
First of all, I could run through that hole.
Look at this. I feel like
so fast.
the difference though is like offensive line, incredible. Not everyone scores from here though.
No.
Oh no!
Like
I mean,
like,
I said, he's
like this is
incredible.
a nice gain, but not a lot of guys can burst through for a touchdown for 20 yards from here.
Has-
or am I wrong on that?
No, I completely agree with you. Has Jahmyr Gibbs cemented himself as RB2 or RB3 in
Yes.
the NFL?
I think out of respect, I will say RB3 for now.
I think so too. I think I have to put him as RB3 behind Saquon, Derrick Henry, and then Jahmyr Gibbs for me is RB3 in the NFL.
I don't know, guys. I think it's a close tie for all three of them. His burst is
Stop.
unreal.
No, I can't let you put him
That's
in the
fine.
same
It's okay
era as
because
Saquon yet.
I love this play.
Now
we call
if he
this
becomes the bell cow, yes.
Yeah, I mean, like the fact that Saquon's doing it, we know that those guys can both do it for 300 carries. Like there's a
Right.
workload difference there that does matter. But
agreed. Let's talk about this play. 96 zone insert. Here we go.
Such a
Ready?
great play.
We're going to go on the front side. We have some sort of a single that could turn to a double, so we're all alerted to ourselves. Because, see, the minute he starts pressing outside, everyone's kind of like re-alerting themselves. Zeitler does a great job of moving right now to get Panay off. The key block here is the center. Number one, cannot give up penetration or get cross-faced, and the backside. And it's really hard backside because when you man this up, you're basically everything's moving away from
He's
you at
talking
a
about the
rapid
right
rate.
side. He's
yeah,
the left
so
side,
the
the
right
left
side
side.
of the offensive line.
The
So
left side of
you're-
the offensive line.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So basically, the left side of the offensive line has one of the hardest jobs because while everything is moving away from you, your job is to set the wall. You're creating this wall so that this ball is guaranteed to cut backside. Nothing about this play is going front side. See how the fullback inserts backside for Blake Cashman? That's the most important block right there. But you have to give him a running lane to get through. See that? See how it opens up? Cashman over pursues, and all of a sudden the fullback's like, oh, I'm just going to meet you right here in this hole. This is a phenomenal, dude. This is a phenomenal play because everybody gets a hat on a hat, and it's blocked up perfect. See how they created this wall backside, and the front side tries to stretch it open for him?
And-
That's how it opens.
And what makes us the explosive is Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yes.
Right? We've talked about it. You cannot have explosive runs. You cannot have big down the field chunk runs if your receivers don't block. Look at Amon-Ra St. come down in here, get right on Byron Murphy Jr., right, and make that block. And now look how much space. First of all, that hole is enormous.
Yes.
Right. I mean, watch Amon-Ra down here at the bottom of your screen. Right, there's 14. He's going to get in here and do the dirty work. He's the last line of defense. He's got to get in here and dig this corner out and make a decision. Who's the most dangerous man? Right? So now you've got 5-6 yards of space. All you got to do is cover up Murphy. Boop. I mean, to split the defenders like that.
You could bounce that too. Maybe it scores. Maybe it
He
doesn't.
might get called for holding, though. So he does a great job of
Right, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. He didn't put his receiver in a compromised position. But watch Frank Ragnow. We talk about this on these back blocks, right, where he's got to come here on Harrison Phillips, who's a big dude, by the way. You've got to create space. You can't collapse the hole. He expands the hole. This is why this dude's going to the Pro Bowl, right? He makes contact here, and then he
Drives
starts
him.
his feet. And so, like, he started on the hash. Harry's now a full yard outside the hash, right? Unbelievable individual block, hat on a hat. And then watch this quickness to split these defenders right here.
Like this probably shouldn't be a touchdown. I mean, look at
No.
this. This is
But watch him
crazy.
split the defenders, right? He sets Murphy, or he sets up Bynum, like right here. He's thinking, oh, maybe he is going to bounce it, and then just puts his foot in the ground. So explosive. I will give him this. His acceleration is probably the best in the NFL.
For sure.
Like from acceleration of like put the foot down and go, unbelievable.
Here's
Then
another
you just
one.
come back and just go
That's
with a
a
lead play
great
here.
job.
And as
Look
much
at
as they
that.
wanted to give some Van Ginkel love here, this is taking a dirt nap. The Ginkster
This
takes
is
a
bad.
Dirt nap.
So keep an eye on 43
Hey,
here and
This
what
here
happens to him.
is truly considered zone because you run it out of a double tight set and you have a fullback. And this block is so fun. This is one of those quads on the run, and it's fun because you let your tight end set up Van Ginkel, and then you let your fullback just get a running start at everything. And you're like, hey, the two of us have him to the safety. We just have to take Van Ginkel to Bynum. Or, Cameron Bynum, who should be over here somewhere.
He'll pop into the
He
screen.
will. But at the same
There he
time, see how now all of a sudden this creates so much space and allows time to get on this block. But when you dirt nap somebody like that, and Bynum, we're taking bad angles. At some point, it's like, dude, this dude's quick.
Well, as much as he's taking a bad angle, Van Ginkel's he's the contained player, right? So Bynum's going, hey, Ginkel, you have to set the edge and funnel everything back to me. Well, when your edge player and your contained player is staring at the ceiling, bad things happen, right? Because now everyone's out leveraged. And again, who's down there? Tim Patrick down there doing the dirty work, making sure this tackle or this corner doesn't get off late. And that's how you have explosive runs. And these receivers have been doing it all year long.
Man.
All year long. They've been getting after dudes. They've been doing the dirty work. It's this offense, I mean, we knew this offense was going to score. Right? It wasn't is the Vikings defense going to completely stifle this offense? And I thought the Vikings defense for the first half did a phenomenal job, right? But just keep running the football. 3's going to turn into 5, 5's going to turn into 10, and by the fourth quarter it was 12, 11, 15.
Right. That's when the big ones come out.
It started ripping off, and guess where they ran them all? Right behind our guy Penei Sewell.
Yeah.
Right, like those fourth quarter runs, they were like, we're going to the right. Good luck stopping it.
Right.
Yeah, that was, man. I mean, as Dan Campbell said in the locker room, you look like you remembered who the bleep you were.
Yeah.
Man,
They know.
this doesn't just happen.
I'm telling you.
I
that
also think Jared Goff loves playing the Vikings. Like I do. I think he loves them.
Well, it's kind of it's a fun. I mean,
It's a
fun in
fun-
a sadistic way. It's a fun chess match, right?
The great quarterbacks love that stuff, right? They love the challenge of like, all right, where's the blitz coming from? Can I get everyone lined up? It's the game within the game, and I think Goff loves the game within the game when he plays the Vikings.
I agree.
Yeah, he's been, man, for a guy that was 4 years ago just a throw-in to kind of match Stafford's salary, or he'll just be here for a year or two. He has become one of the funny. If you're patient with guys who were drafted number 1 overall, number 3 overall in both these teams' cases, just give them a little time to figure out the NFL. And Jared Goff has shown too that if you give him a good set of weapons and an offensive line, maybe he's not Patrick Mahomes, but he'll drive that car deep in the playoffs. He did it with the Rams. He did it with the Lions last year.
He'll drive
Yeah,
that ball
and
down the field too.
And the scariest thing now is, guess who's going to watch that and blueprint that game plan? Matt Stafford. Right? Matt Stafford can do every single one of those things in those throws that Jared Goff had. Matt Stafford can do. Is their run game as good as the Lions? Absolutely not. Right, but Kyron Williams is still a very good running back, right? So it's going to be interesting to see if the Vikings try and change anything at all, or if Brian Flores just says, nope, we are who we are, this is what we do, we live and die by the sword, we still roll with it.
Yeah.
Foot on the gas.
Amen. All right. So, Lions fans or just anyone, Vikings fans, if you're here for some therapy, if you're just discovering the O-Line committee, click that like button and the subscribe button here. And thank you for getting us to 30,000 subscribers, too. Playoff season is here. Tons more content coming your way on the O-Line Committee podcast and YouTube channel for Booney. He's Jeremiah on the road.